Forget the scale. Focus on these 7 health metrics instead. Hello everyone and welcome back to Elderly Heart Talks. I have an important question for you today. Are you still stepping on the bathroom scale every single morning? Feeling anxious about a few extra pounds? What if I told you that after the age of 65, carrying a little bit of extra weight might actually protect you? We live in a society that is completely obsessed with being thin. We are constantly told that we need to diet and lose weight to be healthy. However, the rules change as we get older. For seniors, trying to lose weight can sometimes be risky. It can mean you are losing valuable muscle mass or bone density instead of fat, which leaves you feeling weak and vulnerable to falls. You have to remember that your weight is just a number. It is not the whole picture. That number on the scale does not measure your vitality, your strength, your balance, or how long you are going to live. So, put the scale away for a moment. Today on Elderly Heart Talks, we are shifting our focus to what truly matters. I am going to walk you through 7 gold standard metrics that define true health and aging. These are the vital signs that you really need to pay attention to if you want to live a long and active life. Number 1 is blood pressure. We often call this the silent guardian of our health. Many of us operate under the dangerous assumption that if we are thin, our heart is perfectly fine. But that is simply not true. You can be quite slim and still suffer from high blood pressure, or hypertension. According to the American Heart Association, high blood pressure is a leading risk factor for stroke and heart attacks, and it affects nearly 70% of adults over the age of 65, regardless of their waist size. It is widely considered a much stronger predictor of your future health than the number on your bathroom scale. Here is something crucial to keep in mind regarding our biology. As we age, our vascular system changes. Our major arteries naturally tend to become a bit stiffer and lose their elasticity. This means the heart has to work harder to pump blood through the body. That is why monitoring this pressure is often much more insightful than worrying about your weight. The goal here is awareness. It is particularly helpful to keep an eye on that top number, the systolic pressure. While the general gold standard is often cited as 120/80, guidelines for seniors can sometimes be slightly different to prevent dizziness. Stability is usually the key. Speaking of dizziness, have you ever felt a little lightheaded or unsteady when you stand up too quickly from a chair? That is often called orthostatic hypotension. It happens when your blood pressure drops suddenly upon standing. This is not just a sign of getting older. It is a very important signal from your body. Research indicates that this fluctuation is closely linked to a higher risk of falls and fractures in older adults. So, checking your pressure regularly at home, perhaps keeping a simple logbook, can give you a much clearer picture of your true vitality than your weight ever could. It is about knowing your numbers so you can protect your heart. Number 2 is your waist circumference, specifically targeting something called visceral fat. This is where the bathroom scale can be incredibly deceiving. You might step on the scale and see a normal number, yet still carry a significant amount of what we call toxic fat deep inside your abdomen. In the medical community, this is sometimes referred to as being skinny fat or having normal weight obesity. Why is this so important? Unlike the soft fat you can pinch just under your skin, visceral fat is hidden. It wraps itself tightly around your vital organs, like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. Research from major health organizations, such as the National Institutes of Health, indicates that this type of fat is biologically active. It acts almost like a separate organ, pumping inflammatory substances and hormones into your bloodstream. This inflammation is often linked to insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease, even if you are not technically overweight. So, the test here is simple, and it does not involve a scale at all. All you need is a simple tape measure. According to general health guidelines, the risk of metabolic complications increases significantly if your waist measurement goes above certain thresholds. For men, the danger zone often begins at 40 inches. For women, it is typically around 35 inches. It is worth noting that these are general benchmarks, and body types do vary. However, measuring your waist at the level of your belly button generally gives you a much more honest assessment of your metabolic health than your total body weight ever could. It is a small measurement that tells a very big story. Number 3 is grip strength and muscle mass. This brings us to a medical term that every person over the age of 60 should know: sarcopenia. When we step on the scale and see the number going down, we often celebrate. However, for older adults, weight loss can sometimes mask a dangerous problem. The biggest threat to your independence after the age of 65 isn't usually obesity, it is sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. Why is this more important than your total weight? Because muscle is what keeps you moving, keeps your metabolism active, and protects your bones. There is a simple test that doctors often use to measure this, and it is called the hand grip strength test. It might sound incredibly basic, just squeezing a device called a dynamometer, but the science behind it is profound. Major studies, including research published in The Lancet, have identified grip strength as an indispensable biomarker for older adults. The data suggests that your grip strength correlates strongly with your overall body strength. It is a powerful predictor of how well you can recover from a surgery, how likely you are to survive a serious illness, and even your risk of developing heart disease. If your grip is weak, it often means your overall constitution is frail, regardless of whether you are thin or heavy. So, the message I want you to take away is this: we want you strong, not just skinny. Preserving your muscle through protein intake and resistance exercise is far more critical for your longevity than simply trying to be as light as possible. Number 4 is bone density. Think of this as your internal fracture shield. There is a significant misconception that being as light as possible is always better for your frame. However, the reality is quite different. When we lose weight rapidly after the age of 65, we are not just shedding fat, we are often stripping away valuable bone mineral density as well. Being underweight is actually a well-documented risk factor for osteoporosis, a condition where bones become brittle and fragile. For a younger person, a slip and fall might result in a simple bruise. But for us, a fall with porous, weak bones can be life-changing. A hip fracture, for example, is not just an injury, it is a major event that can dramatically alter your independence and mobility for years to come. So, instead of the bathroom scale, the metric you really want to know is your T-score. This number usually comes from a painless test called a DEXA scan, which measures your bone mineral density. It compares your bones to those of a healthy young adult to see exactly where you stand. The action plan here is to shift your mindset. Rather than strict calorie restriction, which can starve your bones, focus on nourishment. Prioritize calcium and vitamin D in your diet. And remember, bones need positive stress to stay strong. Weight-bearing exercises like brisk walking, dancing, or lifting light weights signal your body to build more bone. It is about building a structure that is strong enough to support you for the rest of your life. Number 5 is your HbA1c. Think of this as your long-term sugar monitor. We often hear people say, "I don't need to worry about blood sugar because I'm not overweight." This is one of the most dangerous myths in modern health. You can be incredibly slim and fit into a small dress size, yet still have dangerously high blood sugar levels, wreaking havoc on your insides. Why is this metric so much more reliable than your weight? Well, many of us rely on a simple fasting blood sugar test, the one where you prick your finger in the morning. While that is helpful, it is just a snapshot of a single moment in time. It can fluctuate wildly depending on what you ate for dinner last night or how stressed you are this morning. Hemoglobin average, on the other hand, tells the truth. It measures the percentage of sugar attached to your red blood cells, giving us a reliable average of your blood sugar levels over the past 2 to 3 months. It is like a security camera recording everything, rather than just taking a single photo. The reality is stark. Regardless of your weight, chronically high blood sugar acts like a slow poison to your blood vessels. It is the primary driver behind nerve damage, also known as neuropathy, as well as vision loss and kidney failure. These complications do not care about your waistline. They care about the glucose circulating in your veins. So, stable blood sugar is the ultimate goal. Keeping your A1C within a healthy range, usually below 5.7% for non-diabetics. though targets may be higher for seniors, is the best way to protect your eyes, your kidneys, and your nerves for the long haul. Focus on this number, not just the size on the label of your clothes. Number 6 involves two critical nutrients, vitamin D and vitamin B12 levels. We often call these the energy boosters. This is an area where your weight can be completely misleading. You might eat a full, hearty diet and maintain a healthy weight, yet still be starving your body on a cellular level. Why does this happen? Well, as we age, our digestive system changes. Specifically, our stomach often produces less acid, which makes it much harder to absorb certain nutrients from food, particularly vitamin B12. This means you can have a perfect weight but still suffer from severe malnutrition. The symptoms of these deficiencies are often shocking and heartbreakingly misunderstood. Let's talk about vitamin B12 first. A deficiency in this vitamin affects the nervous system and can cause memory loss, confusion, and brain fog. In fact, it is frighteningly common for seniors to be misdiagnosed with early-stage dementia or Alzheimer's disease, when in reality, they are simply low on B12. Imagine the relief of finding out that memory loss could be improved with a simple supplement. Then there is vitamin D. Low levels here don't just affect your mood, they physically hurt. A deficiency can lead to deep bone pain and muscle weakness, which many people mistakenly write off as just arthritis or getting old. So, here's the fix. If you have been feeling unusually tired, sluggish, or a bit foggy lately, please do not just assume it is because of your age or your weight. Do not just drink more coffee. Instead, ask your doctor for a blood panel to check these specific levels. It is a simple test that could drastically change your quality of life. Number 7 is perhaps the most surprising one on this list, gait speed, or simply, how fast you walk. You might not think of your walking speed as a medical test, but in the world of geriatrics and longevity, it is considered so important that doctors often call it the 6th vital sign, right up there with your blood pressure and heart rate. Why does this matter more than your weight? Because walking is actually an incredibly complex task for the human body. It requires your heart to pump blood, your lungs to provide oxygen, your nerves to fire signals, your muscles to contract, and your brain to coordinate balance and vision all at the same time. If any single one of these systems is beginning to decline, whether it is a hidden heart issue or early cognitive decline, your walking speed will naturally slow down to compensate. It is the body's way of playing it safe. Therefore, how fast you walk is a holistic reflection of your overall vitality. There is a fascinating connection here regarding longevity. Numerous studies have shown that older adults who maintain a brisk walking pace tend to live significantly longer than those who walk slowly, regardless of how much they weigh. So, here is a simple self-test you can try next time you're out with a friend. Can you walk at a brisk pace and carry on a conversation at the same time? If you find that you have to stop walking in order to talk, it is a sign that your brain might be using all its energy just to keep you balanced. It is a powerful predictor of your functional health, and improving your walking speed is often the best way to improve your future. We have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, and I hope that by now, you are starting to look at your body in a completely different light. For decades, we have been brainwashed to believe that the bathroom scale is the ultimate judge of our well-being. But as we have just discussed, that number at your feet is just a tiny, often misleading fragment of the story. Your health is not a single digit. It is a full, vibrant picture, and you can think of it as a complex orchestra. Throughout this video, we have learned that blood pressure is the rhythm of that orchestra, and we have seen how waist circumference tells us about the safety of our internal organs. We now know that grip strength and muscle mass are the engines that keep us independent, while bone density provides the sturdy framework that protects us. We have also discussed how hemoglobin A1C tells the truth about our metabolism, how vitamin levels fuel our energy, and how our walking speed is actually a mirror reflecting our brain and heart health. These 7 metrics are the true pillars of a vibrant life after 65. They are the structural integrity of your house. But remember, a house is not a home just because it has strong walls and a solid roof. There is one more metric, perhaps the most important one of all, that we have not listed yet. If there were an eighth number on this list, it would undoubtedly be your happiness and emotional index. You see, modern medicine is finally catching up to what ancient wisdom has known for centuries, which is that you simply cannot separate the heart from the mind. You can have the perfect blood pressure, the ideal waistline, and the grip strength of an athlete. But if you are lonely, stressed, or emotionally depleted, you are not truly healthy. I want you to think about this as a biological reality, not just a soft sentiment. When we are chronically stressed, anxious, or holding on to grievances, our bodies release cortisol. This stress hormone literally inflames our arteries, weakens our bones, and suppresses our immune system in a very real way. Unhappiness makes us sick. On the flip side, joy, connection, and a sense of purpose release a cascade of healing chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine that actually protect your heart and lower your blood pressure. So, as you work on improving your physical numbers, I want you to be equally rigorous about checking your emotional numbers. Ask yourself, how often did I laugh today? Do I feel connected to a community or a friend? Do I wake up with a sense of purpose, no matter how small? This is what I call the happiness index. In the famous blue zones, which are the places where people live the longest, they do not just eat well and move naturally. They prioritize connection. They put family first. They laugh often. And they have faith and purpose. A healthy heart needs a happy spirit to keep beating strong. So please, do not neglect this part of your prescription. Speaking of happiness, this brings me to my final piece of advice for you today, which I like to call the cookie philosophy. I know many of you watching this are disciplined. You care about your health, or you would not be here. But there is a fine line between caring for your health and living in fear of it. If you are at a birthday party or having tea with an old friend, and there is a cookie on the table, please, eat the cookie. Do not eat the whole box, of course. But if you eat that cookie with guilt, worrying about the calories, your body produces stress hormones. If you eat that cookie with joy, savoring the sweetness and the company of your friend, your body processes it differently. Do not stress about the occasional treat, and do not lose sleep over a wrinkle or a pound gained during the holidays. Those are just the side effects of living a full life. Instead, if you are going to stress about the things that actually keep you independent. Worry about your grip strength so you can carry your own groceries and hug your grandchildren tightly. Worry about your blood pressure so your brain stays sharp and your heart stays steady. Worry about your balance so you can walk confidently into the future. We need to shift our focus from vanity to vitality. That is the secret to aging, not just gracefully, but powerfully. Now, I would love to hear from you. This community is full of wisdom, and we learn so much from each other. I have a question for you. Which of these 7 numbers have you checked recently? Or, perhaps more importantly, what is one thing that brings you joy and raises your happiness index today? Please, leave a comment down below. Whether it is your gardening, your grandkids, or just a good book, share it with us. Your story might just encourage someone else who is reading. If you found this video helpful, or if it gave you a new perspective on your health, please give it a thumbs up as it really helps our channel reach more people like you. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you never miss an update from Elderly Heart Talks. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Remember, check your numbers, but do not forget to feed your soul. Stay strong, stay happy, and I will see you in the next video.